Hey everybody, thanks so much for tuning in to us this afternoon. It's 2:57 right now. It's 2:57. We are WRFU UCIMC. We in the studio. I need you to grab me another stack of them CDs so I can prop something up a little bit more friendlier to my...
Down enough right here?
Yeah, that should be. Maybe. I think it might be. I appreciate you.
No problem. That good? You want something to go all the way up?
I think I need a little halfway at least.
You need some more?
Just a little bit. Maybe about 4 or 5 of them. Yeah. 4 or 5 should do. Thank you so much, Ms. Marilyn.
Sure.
It's 2:57 right now, everyone. Like and share for me, please. We are at WRFU UCIMC. We're in the studio today. You know what I missed out doing last time we was here? Last time we was here, I had went on my share side and shared with everybody, and I missed that last time. But I kept constantly going in. You know what I mean? In and out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What's up, Shelly? Yeah, but we got about 1 minute before we go live here. I kind of like that. Huh. I kind of like that one. Hey, cousin. What's going on, Rachel? Yeah, but
What kind of music would go with that other one? Probably jazz. Or like that.
you want to put it to some... It's 2:59. We're here. We're here. We're here in the studio and inside today. We're outside. We're at WRFU UCIMC. Come on live with me today. We got Miss Marilyn Dean Cleveland in the studio. Draper's in here today. Let's all come in. And we'll go live here in just a little bit.
This is the title of it, right? Introduction, like
That's the title of this piece.
I'm a problem.
It's 2:59. Come on in the studio with us today. Let me transition in and out of this. Hello, and good afternoon. Thank you so much for tuning in to us this afternoon. You're on live with Afternoons with Delight. And like I said, thanks so much for tuning in to us this afternoon. And before we get started for today, man, today's been a pretty nice day. Pretty warm out there a little bit, though. Right? But before we get started, you know what I like to do at the top of each hour. Before we get started, I have to go over my legal ID. And we are in we're in Champaign, I'm sorry. We are at WRFU LP Urbana. This is our disclaimer. WRFU is an open forum for the Urbana-Champaign community. Views expressed are those of the speaker and guests, and they are not intended to represent WRFU UCIMC. Thanks so much, like I said, everybody, for tuning in to me this afternoon. I've got a couple of people in the studio with me today. And before we get started, you know what I like to do. I make the introduction of who's in the studio with me. And today, guess who's here? It is Miss Marilyn Dean Cleveland.
The stranger.
Hey, Miss Marilyn, how are you today?
As they say, I'm fair in the middle.
You fair to middling, Miss Marilyn? Looking, what is this, right? I mean, is it rocking and rolling? Because I thought I turned it on the speaker, but I don't know about that. I don't know.
Is it on or no?
Oh, yeah, it might be, but we not finna mess with it. Because it looks like it might be on the swinging arm of doing something else. Anyway, and also, who else is in the studio with me today? Draper is in the studio today. Good afternoon. How are you today?
Everything is going well for everybody.
Absolutely. Before we get started on today, we got a few things that we're going to touch on as far as topic-wise today. But before we get started, Draper, do you want to go over and make a reading right now? Do we want to talk about it for a minute, Miss Marilyn?
I was given a beautiful poem about our people, and Miss Marilyn Dean Cleveland, she gave it to me, and I mean, it was very inspiring. It really touched me. It made me look at a lot of things that where we at today.
Right.
I'm just going to read one for now and then as we get on, and then we go into the other one. But just to open it up to give somebody, something to think about for a second. But let's say this is for you. You can be all that you can be, but you have to start here because you are beautiful. I am a proud black child. My sword of honor is my celebration of my blackness and my proudness. My shield of perseverance is my strength to withstand the many uneven roads I must travel. I'm a proud black child on my way to greatness as I walk the footsteps of my ancestors, which makes me somebody. I am what my history says that I am, for I come from great kings, queens, and great warriors. I am validated by my blood, their sacrifice, their voice of wisdom. I am strong, determined, courageous, steadfast, powerful, adaptable, and faithful. I love, patient, forgiving, compassionate. I'm respectful, obedient, honest, confident, and blessed. I am black and I'm proud because I am not what I have been labored to be. Be proud of who you are. Love. That's from Marilyn Dean Cleveland. That was very beautiful, I think. I thank you for sharing this with us this evening.
I want to share it with as many people as I can. I know that there's not a lot of teenagers that are listening to that,
Right.
but I would hope that the parents would, share that with them. And if anyone would like to have a copy of that to share with their children, their sons, and also their daughters, I just wanted to let them know that they are somebody, but you have to start by putting down those guns.
Yes.
You got to start there.
Right.
Absolutely.
You are somebody. Don't think that you're not. Don't let society label you as being nothing. It's like being 3/5 of a person.
Right.
And that's not who our young men and women are. So please, if you need a copy of this, you can get in touch with Micah or
Mika.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I always get your name
I'm
wrong.
gonna take a picture of it
Yeah.
and
Right.
actually put it on my page.
Okay.
And then they could possibly blow it up and
Right,
screenshot
right.
it. Take
Because
a picture of it.
like I said, it's just something that I think all young people, young black people should know that they are important.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You got to feel important. Yesterday, I witnessed young girls out there fighting. And they didn't know what they were fighting for.
Right.
Our ancestors did not die for their actions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Please.
I mean, the discovery of what we are finding out with our young people right now is just, we had a conversation last night, you and I, and Draper, where we had spoken on like several different things and like the disconnection and how did we get here? I think, everybody keeps having conversation about what's going on in the community.
Got to do something.
And we keep saying that we got to do something, but what is the something at this point in time? Because I think, bringing a bunch of people together in a room is really, I find, pointless. Because honestly, you need to be in the room with the kids that are actually
Right.
having the issues. I mean, it seems like it's such a a hard or easy way to say something. But I think until we start talking to the people that we want to address, I think that's the problem. Like, we know what we want to do, and we say, you know, this is what we can do, and we can provide these options and this better reality for our world and for our future. And this is what the kids want. But do you really know what the kids want? Because, I mean, has anybody asked? You know, I just got documents and documentations from all these different agencies and organizations about what they're doing, what their plan is. You know, but not in any of that planning have they asked the children in those neighborhoods or those specific regions, what do you want?
Yeah, I have had a couple of times where, you know, I see some of the teenagers, boys and girls, they look so sad and mean and hateful. So
Yeah.
I did ask one young man, I said, "What?" I said, "You have such a handsome looking face. First of all, you have to know how to approach.
That's the biggest thing right there.
You
Hey,
have to
Damien.
know
Hey,
how
Bubby.
You have to know how to approach these young people.
Yeah.
And this, especially the males, but the girls are even worse.
Mhm.
I talked to some young ladies yesterday, and it was it was about pickles, you know,
Mhm.
and they were all just talking and carrying on, and they were saying, "I wonder how those pickles taste." And I said, "Those pickles are great. You should try them." And they all got a good laugh out of it. They said, "Well, thank you for letting us know." It was a little thing,
Yeah.
but I got them to talk to me
Right.
in a respectful way,
Absolutely.
you know.
Absolutely.
And as I was saying about this
Hey, Michael.
young boy, I asked him, you know, I told him, I said, "Why?" I said, "You got such a handsome face. Why you look so mean and hateful?" And he said, "Ma'am, I just look like that." I said, "But what is your reason?" And I didn't want to keep pushing.
You didn't want to go for the
because
why.
I didn't want to get cussed out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I did ask him why.
Yeah.
But I think I told you this story once before. Is that when he was talking to me,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his eyes teared up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
And when he left the store, he was hugging himself like this.
Mm.
He was giving himself self-love,
Right.
you know.
Right.
And that was one experience. You just have to know how to approach it. My sons, they, "Mama, you can't be doing that." Why can't I?
Right. Right.
Somebody has got to say, "Okay, what's wrong?"
Yeah. And I think that's the biggest question right there. A lot of people don't want to say nothing for fear of
Yes, right.
retaliatory
Right.
type
Right.
of responses. But I'm like, I think that has a lot of bearing on what is your motivation?
Right.
Number one, behind wanting to get that dialogue with that child, because I think if you're not a person that's going into a situation with a youth and trying to get them to orchestrate a conversation that you want to have with them, and you're not going in there for a resolution
Right.
or to resolve or to offer some type of support or some type of assistance, I don't think your intentions are
Favorable.
exactly favorable, nor do I think that they need to be administered. I think a lot of times, because we have that conversation on so many occasions where some adults don't even know how to go into situations when they're dealing with youth. So then, you know, as a person that's older and you're dealing with youth, because we've seen this, and we saw this most recently, how do you go into a situation and deal with youth that are not, you know, receptive to you? You know what? Right. And you know, like I said, I've worked at the Pavilion. I've worked with children in care all the time. This is what Champaign County afforded me the opportunity to come over here and learn how to work with children. So when I'm here and I've worked with kids who swore up and down they was gonna beat me that night. You know what I mean? And I'm like, you know, you like, hey, you ain't finna whoop me tonight. But you know, but in your mind you start thinking, I don't care how old you are, if you're challenged by a child, it brings out your other side. And And in dealing with children who can bring out that side of you, what hasn't been dealt with in you before you decide to go out here and render services with somebody else? Because see, in my mental, because I've worked in social services and mental health services, and I've also, not only am I a client, but I am also a receiver of those. I don't have no shame in nothing that I went through. So, you know, can't nobody throw spilled tea and dirt on me when I'm,
that's
you
what
know.
I think a lot of people with facing and healing, because a lot of that stuff that we went through was really hard on us.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
And still having things attached to us that,
Yes.
you know, that still consistently triggers, because we keep allowing ourselves to go in the
through
same situations again.
Yeah.
And
You know,
Yeah.
because if it's actually having problems where you can't even really balance your emotions, you know, you really not paying attention to your own personal level of balance and discipline and direction. Because if you don't have boundaries for yourself when you at your highest limit of things bothering you and knowing how to work to perfect that, especially being a people person, you have to be a great listener.
Yes.
Before you just always speaking and putting fingers and judging people, you have to be more of a great listener. Because if somebody figure that you're gonna judge them, it's already dealing with damaged situations, judging, you know, taking their personal business out to the streets and throw it away to, you know, to.
It's that untrusting factor that they
you
have
to
anyway.
get with people that's not like that.
Yep.
That is healed.
Yep.
Go find some heal. I know they're gonna feel different than you because they're having in a better spirit, but that's what you need. That uncomfortable good feel.
And I think I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
And I think too that our black children and our black people have lived in two worlds so long that we have to maneuver in those two worlds. And then they get confused.
Yes.
They get confused.
Yeah.
Where do I belong?
Yeah, but you know what? Oh, I hate to cut you off. Keep going. Keep going, Miss Mel.
Go ahead.
Because you know what? I gotta go somewhere with that. You done hit on something.
Okay.
Because now you're talking about the effervescent code switching that we have continued to do over and over again. But you know what? We told our children that that's acceptable. Okay? We have lived in a world, and you're talking about two different worlds.
Yes.
We have lived in a world where I was just speaking to somebody online a little bit before we came in, right? And somebody gave the they put up online. It was like, what is Grand Rising?
Right.
What is Grand Rising?
Yeah.
So I said, you know, what is Grand Rising? I said, so if they give it to you, good morning.
Yes.
You quick to say,
Yes.
but as soon as somebody
else,
of your own color comes to you with Grand Rising, is I don't like that. But it's because it's a right, and that's what it is. And I said, this is what the conception of most people are, because it's so different.
And it started with slavery.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of people, when you give that explanation of what this was, and this is coming, we online and we're live in the studio. Let me say this. We're with
like PTSD from surviving the system, because all us wasn't slaves, but I mean, just to be
but it was a
mentally
systematic,
targeted through a systematic
approach.
You know, no doubt.
And so, like I'm saying, this is not just coming from myself, I'm 48. You know what I mean?
Are you sure?
I'll be 49. And Draper the same age, right? So, because I'm throwing you down. But then we also I'm saying it because Miss Marilyn is in her 80s. Right. So this is coming from a woman that is in her 80s telling y'all, I say Grand Rising, don't you, Miss Marilyn?
Yeah, I've been there.
Okay, so that's what I'm explaining to y'all. This is not just coming out of like some thin air, like we just made this up. Yeah. If our senior is sitting here with us live in the studio and telling y'all, I'm 80 years old and I say Grand Rising, what don't you understand with that?
The mourning version when you say that. Now if you really know what morning is, just now when you say it like now everybody can come to people.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I'm telling you good morning,
Yep.
It's because a slave
Well,
person
right, so
has
I'm like,
beat
I'm
you
happy
the night
that you-
before, and he is rubbing it in your
right?
room.
That's basically
Yeah.
smacking you in the
So
face, laughing
I mean,
at you.
I'm not
Right.
like I didn't make this up. It didn't
No.
come out of like thin air, and we
Right,
have
right.
somebody in the studio who can give true verification.
A lot of the
like I said, I'm
terminology
not a
we
real
use comes back
authority
in
on a
sense.
lot of stuff, but we sometimes experience things,
Mm-hmm.
and we feel things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like now when I speak to people
Mm-hmm.
and I ask, "How are you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
I'm hanging in there. You know what I say?
Mm-hmm.
No, we did that, done that, don't want to do it again.
Right. Ain't no more hanging.
Right.
That's the way.
Yeah,
I
so true.
approach
I
it.
understand that. I
Because
understand that.
I
Careful
don't
with
want. I
selective
don't.
words to
You
use.
know.
But somebody
feel-
had just said that earlier that there, I don't think that we are at this present place where we understand the authority that we have with the words that we speak.
No, they don't.
I really don't. I lived my whole life off of words. And now I'm like in full transition where I can see the words that I spoke and the realities, right, come to life and come to fruition off of things that I've spoken into existence. So, I'm telling that to the people that are listening to us online all over the world, out there in California, down south, also here in Central Illinois. Hey, Shannon, let me get a shout out to my cousin. I know she's listening right now.
Hi,
Hey,
Shannon.
right. Shannon, let me
Yeah.
say hey to my sister Trisha. She listening down in Tennessee, but and all my family all around the globe right now. But let me tell you something. I mean, you just have to be mindful. And we are in that situation. And let us reverberate and go back to the conversation at hand. Miss Marilyn had brought in a couple of dynamic poems that Mr. Leverson,
Prose and
poems that she has brought in. And so we have been actually had dialogue about it. We had started off the hour with the actual one that was read. Now we're almost into our second wave. If you wouldn't mind reading the next one, and we can go into dialogue or do you got? You ain't got another one?
Yeah, we had another one, but
Okay, because we almost at 3:20.
no, alrighty.
You know what I mean? Our conversations are just flowing at this point.
Yeah, they
Let's
are.
let it go. We can
Just
do
let it
off.
roll. We can roll.
Let's see what the spirit about this poem brings to the people.
Right.
All right. This one is titled, There's Only Old People Here. All the children are gone. There's no hope for a better tomorrow. There's no vision or no dream for a better reason. The paths are darkened by fear and evil forces that dwell in the darkness that roam the corners of the streets. There's only old people here. All the children are gone. Children cannot be child, playing games of innocence. They play with toy guns, they shoot real bullets, and the child becomes still with death and friends that lie dead on the cement. They play a game of hopscotch, hide and seek, jump rope, and baby doll. The fun is cut short when a ride-by shooting casts a shadow over the game they played and leaves an inexperienced, ungrown child without a spirit and becomes a numerical fact of unknown faces. As I hopscotch draw on the sidewalk to cover with blood, the jump rope lies in silence like a sleeping snake. The bullet sought and found a small innocent flower, took his life away, and the baby doll cried, "Mama, mama." There's only old people here. All the children are gone. The young minds and souls live in fear. They lost their childhood to oppression. They become enslaved by false advocates of life. Their teachers are ugly faces, dual-minded smile, teeth of lies and death. They crack cocaine, chief time, heroin, lords, marijuana, members spread through poisons, venoms, confuse and doubt into the minds and souls of children. They are pulled from the classrooms and playgrounds, recruited into an evil world of crime and negative attitude. The child becomes mature and grown into adulthood and bear fruit from a child's womb in a desolate place without wisdom and without understanding. The children are led into despair with no dreams to dream and no fairy tales read. There's only old people here, and all the children are gone. Guns, drugs, gangs lead the way in the darkness of black. Shadows of people in the streets without feelings. And they say, what love got to do with it? Destruction comes from the skies and promises of wealth, fame, good times, and the money is easy. All they have to do is sell their soul. Just follow the path to the riches, glittering like gold. But in reality and death, which is not very far, the children live in disparity of not knowing right from wrong because they were not taught, not caring about today or the future. They die without full and rich life. Babies dying on the street, killed by babies, not knowing what living is all about or the meaning to exist. The symbol of games, designer clothes, scribes of tribes on the wall of the cities. Colors are shown, telling the world, I am here and don't mess with me. Babyhood waves gun and say, I'm a man and I do as I please. As they hold a cold, deadly steel in the childlike hand and say, what have I got to lose? Bang, bang, you dead. There are only old people here. All the children are gone to the grave, baby. Where were their smiling faces? There are only angry and sad faces pictured in the streets. There are no kind words for their lips, and they carry heart that don't care. Only those words are heard. Hey, my man, I need a nickel bag. I need to go where I need to be. I need to go where I've never been before and never go again. I need to stand on the rock and ride the white horse to my destiny and feel merry. Hand touch my soul. For today I live and tomorrow I may die. There's no cause to look for a new horizon or a different direction. The children are lost in a society of measuring white-collar politicians, contaminated minds of men in executive seats. They are wandering aimlessly in the corridors of humanity without souls, without victory, without justice. Books are closed to learn factors, and the doors are locked to empty minds. The slaves are in the master's house. They replace the books of learning with guns and shooting bullets, without names and drugs that are not gracious. A mother holds a child to her heart. She has picked up the small limb body from the curb on the streets, and she weeps. Everyone stands and looks with arms folded, stone face, for no one hears her cry, for no one hears her cry. There's no one to blame. Only the night knows the story, and it holds the secrets. But only the night knows the story, and it holds the secrets. But it will not tell the brutality of the systematic killing field of genocide, taking another young life to the graveyard bed. There's only old people here. All the children are gone. They're dead.
Wow.
That was another beautiful poem by Marilyn Dean Clean. And wow.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted someone to read it that had a voice of a male. I mean, I read it too, but I wanted to kind of give it some more strength.
Well, I hope I, helped you.
Yeah, you
I
did.
think
You did
appreciate
a
it.
great
Definitely.
job, and I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
You know, but it got me crying, and I read it over and over
Definitely,
again
it is
because
heartbreaking.
we've had so many killings the last 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and I wanted to put a voice
Mm-hmm.
to what is going on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, we can talk about what we can do,
Right.
but we got to do.
Man,
You know, we can't just say, okay, we're gonna do this,
I know.
we're gonna do that. It's like
I mean, you know, I could go into dialogue about this all the time. And the problem is that, you know, if you go into the dialogue about this consistently and directively, because, you know, I can tell you this, being in Champaign County for at least 18 years now, you know, and you see the men that go out and hang out and go to the clubs and kick it, and on the weekends, and got 2 and 3 families and got women, you know, and I can only speak from something that I'm in a knowing place, but yet we can't have these same men patrol our streets. You can't organize to walk 4 blocks at 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning instead of you tipping and tripping. And see, I don't even wanna say half of the things that I wanna say, because I really can, because I ain't got no allegiance to nobody, but because I'm gonna speak the truth about what I say. But hold on a minute. Let me go back. Yeah, but this is my thing right here.
Right.
It's like, why can't it be orchestrated and set up just like how any institution would be set up? Y'all do rotating shifts. Because let me explain something. If I was a man, I could see myself doing something like that. If I was a person that would set up organizations, you can set up an organization where we can meet at a coalition, right? But you can't make a coalition of men?
First, you got to get the house to get their things in order. Because if the mother and father or whoever else that's first is not in line, there's nothing we can do. It's a lot of healing got to be done. You know, you had relationships and people who built kids didn't even build a respectful pattern for each other to do to raise them.
So how do you get the healing started?
I mean, you gotta, like I say, it's gonna probably be the community that's helping other people's kids, people who really care. Because you can't just sit here and wait for parents to step up.
No.
If your kid is finna go to a place that I don't want to see them go, and if I can help them, I'm gonna do it. I ain't looking for nothing from you. Because one thing for sure about them kids, they'll never forget if you treated them good and talked to some things.
Absolutely.
And them will be the people that will come to you when you get older, because they'll remember some really good things, some stuff you changed their life about.
Absolutely.
So when the things and the way how you treat people today, trust me, it's going to go some ways, because it's going to be a time when you're going to need some people to help and be there for you. Because it's coming that way for some of us who get older, and we're going to be looking for people to, you know, socialize with us. And you see the separation it is from children and elders today. You know, it's like they barely even get a visit or a call if they not
at all.
You know, giving you something or offering a big dinner to bring you to try to, you know. So it's got to, you know, just imagine the techniques and style you have to engage and get somebody who's almost bitter-hearted behind things to even come and enjoy that. That's theirs for free. They don't even want to engage with family activities, and it's hard.
True.
You know, so I only think that us men that do know better, who've learned and actually on that page of making those steps, those are the ones should step up and lead by example. Because we might not have a whole bunch.
Right.
But the ones we do have, I'm grateful for that.
That's my
I'd
point.
rather have some people who doing something
without
looking for no other personal reasons to not do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm not
And I'm
jealous
totally
of
with
nobody's,
I'm totally with you on that. I'm in agreement with what you're saying. I'm not in
all men. Everybody ain't ready, because it's stages in life.
Of course, and we're not saying that every man is ready, but for those that are,
please come on out.
Right.
There's all services
Like
around every
right.
community.
I mean, and it's
educators, trade building, skill development, anything that you have that you know that we always share with each other, especially those trades. We were masters of building and all those different things, and we lost it to not have any natural skills. Those were our survival skills, how we took care and built this place.
How we took care of our family.
That we let go to not do nothing and trying to learn other things that's totally off by the stuff that really, you know, provides a way for ourselves.
You know,
Absolutely.
Like I said, I was the Million Man March. I was very disappointed. A million men.
More than a million.
Yeah.
It was more. Over.
Yeah.
But
I'm
to
just
even
saying,
have that
you know,
together.
and I might get in trouble for saying this, but the truth,
From who?
you have to speak the truth. You know,
I'm just saying from who? But my,
millions
yeah,
march.
yeah. And then what
Where
happened?
are you?
Yeah, and what happened afterwards?
Where are you?
Mm-hmm.
Where were you?
Yeah.
Our kids are out here suffering. Families are suffering because of their children are getting mowed down in the street.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody knows the reason why. Not even the child.
Yep. Yeah.
We
Yep.
gotta do something.
Yeah.
We're losing our kids to the cemeteries.
Mm-hmm.
We're losing our families because they are suffering. And we keep saying, we gotta do something.
Yeah.
And that's going to take some selfless people instead of selfish, you know.
Oh, man.
Because people got to really want that. Because all it takes for us just to do it. It's not no meetings that need to do
No.
it. Just all it's really to we know what's going on, just to come on out.
Yeah.
But once again, what have always been, especially us as black men, what's been our fear is just being overpowered by the weaponry and the things that they have. So it's really limiting us on standing up for our women. Because, you know, soon as they see us mash, you know, they'll bomb us and then lie to the world
That we
as
are-
if we was finna throw biological war with this line. I said, we ain't got nothing.
Yeah.
But just to not allow us to use our strength to protect our black family.
We got knowledge.
You know what type of struggle we have? Because soon we stand up, they lock us up, take us away.
Right.
You know, they just releasing some of our brothers, our good brothers that
I
been gone
know.
70, 80, 90 years, you know,
On a
because
lie.
because of their knowledge and their connection with the people. They don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but we have to not allow them to limit us on what we got to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because they shouldn't have that power to control us doing the right thing for our people.
Yeah.
That's our right by God.
Yeah.
So, and I believe the strength and the support that we would get, you know, behind really having faith in each other and what we need to do, that's something that's if it happened, you would know that came from God to awaken everybody to feel what we all expressing to each other. Because some people might not understand it and ain't ready to accept change. So you're going to have people say negative comments and like
Right.
behind it. And you like, listen,
right.
brother, I'm not saying nothing that I'm gaining. I'm saying something that we need.
And
Yeah.
the truth,
You know.
the truth is sometimes the truth hurts. We don't want to hear the truth most a lot of times.
I don't want to, for us as our coach, I don't think we should bring up things to keep us down, you know.
Right.
We may have done things to hurt each other in the world, yes, no doubt. But all right, cool. We never do those things again. But let's move forward to this direction and never, because most of the people who got hurt was basically living ungodly but straddling the fence. Because your discernment and the discipline of the things that you knew not to do and still did, everything we ever did that we tried on our own thinking had a consequence. You got to play it out. But when you go through the storm and come back out, and if you still are the same, that's the problem.
Right.
Now we're dealing with some things. You know.
A lot of us, like I said, your kids, they don't know what direction to go.
No.
They don't know what day is going to be their last day. And that's a burden for a child to have to carry.
The fact that they even have to, that we in that kind of society right now,
Right.
where, you know, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. Let me say this and let me get this all the way out. From Chicago, right? Because I gotta go with Chicago.
Okay, come on.
I gotta
with
go. I'm finna go with it, right? So the perception of how we thought back in the day of what Chicago was like, right?
it. Right.
Juice, prime example, right? Let's go with that. Even though it wasn't in there, it wasn't in Chicago. It was in the Bronx, right?
Right.
But
But
it was
big
like
city
it
with
was
a lot
like
of
that
stuff.
perception,
Oh.
right? So those were the perceptions that we lived up under in the inner city, like
Right.
smaller cities. So you saw something like on big screen, and that was Juice, and we saw that, and we saw how that played out. You know, not realizing that this was like people everyday life.
Right.
Know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we looked at entertainment as being just that. It was just straight entertainment.
Right.
Not realizing, because when I started talking to people from Chicago, right? Like what your growing up style was truly like.
Uh-huh.
And it was transitional, emotional, like you didn't know if you was a little kid operating as an adult. My thing right here, you was operating as an adult as a kid, right? And that's a lot of us that we grew up. So now we in our, you know, if you born in the 70s, 80s, that was what your mindset was. If you was out there tagging anything that was in the street. So if you had a little life where you was outside, where you was kicking it in the early 90s, that was what you was doing, right? So wait a minute. I told you I got to get it all the way out. So now, this is our concept of what we think is reality for people that are in smaller towns, right? And the mimicry, okay?
Yes.
The mimic
The influence that happened.
of what those shows caused us. Let's keep it 100 here. Now, I think it's a doable feat for me to go out here and live that lifestyle and put on like that. So now, and then when you get a little smaller guys, like Decatur is small to me, right? When I went and moved to Tennessee and Texas, then you encounter a different kind of guy, a different kind of girls, how their reaction to things are. So I'm 17, 18, 19 years old being turned on to things that 30, 40-year-olds was doing, right? Okay, now let's think about this right here. So now we got kids who are in a society that we put them in, that we giving them every electronical device to try to control what they do, what they see. Even though we ain't really controlling what they see, we putting it right in their hand for them to see it. Now you done built up in little Mikey over here who was eating his Wheaties and going to school at 4, 5, 6 years old. But now I done turned you on to something else because now you got the World Wide Web open to you. Now you got kids in school telling you, hey, remember that jersey? We all need to wear them jerseys. That's a good jersey to wear. Now you got the influence of kids telling you what to do. So now I'm not listening to mom and daddy because mom and daddy done already gave it to me. They told me, here you go. This is what I want you to sit here and study and look at and on the other screen, because we're not checking screens.
Be content.
All it is another screen pulled up with the most violent, most vile, most vicious, most sexualized.
The algorithm definitely.
We can see all of it now, and now I can be little Timmy in your face,
And
but
nothing
I can be Terror Tom on the street. You understand what I'm saying? You got two different dualities that we dealing with right now.
True identity crisis.
For real. Because I know grown men who was acting like Juice or Cube or Q back in the day, and they was really taking on these characters. Like they was getting fully involved. So what makes you think? If I don't think I can be touched out here in the street, right? I can't be touched out here in the street because I can't be touched online. Now I got this misguided perception. Let me take this gun that I can make and create on a 3D printer now. And now I'm finna show you what I'm about. Okay? Because I'm finna go out here in the street now. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm finna turn on all of everything that I got to watch for the last 6 years. I'm turned on.
And make it a reality.
It is my reality now. So now you fighting demons that ain't even there. Everybody talking about a poo shiesty and I can't walk down my street and I can't wear this and I can't walk down here. But you got a shiesty on for a character that you created. That you are now out in here in the street terrorizing our city trying to do it. Because that's what you're doing. You know. Now, whoever wanted to listen and dialogue back and forth on that, this is what we got out here.
And they don't care.
I know.
If you judge them by embracing that style of living.
Yep.
You know, but one thing, it all that stemmed from the drug game. When the Black Panthers and all them brothers was trying to stop it before it ever expanded, it ever really reached, when they was grabbing like, and they got them out the way because they was trying to clean up the neighborhood from that. And they was grabbing brothers who was hustling that stuff and tearing your tail up or making you stop. And that's why the FBI and all of them attacked them, because they knew that they was going to stop their agenda and they plan, which was to corrupt the community, and which it did.
The people that was trying to stop it is in the game now.
Because it's immediately, soon as the game was created, all of a sudden laws was passed heavy on drugs. I'm like, y'all just gave it to us.
Yes.
Matter of fact, where did it even come from? Because we had no boats or planes.
Right.
So,
Right.
you know,
And no
I mean,
weapons
right.
either that
Right.
work,
Then you find out when you look and research through documentation, COINTELPRO, and all these things. These were actual agencies that's government and systems.
Sure was.
Y'all brought this up. How does this operate? Is it legal or illegal? Or is how you want to do it to just treat people and put people in the mindset of
That's
thinking
a
it's a law,
privilege
but
kind
it's
of
not
thing.
really
Isn't
a
it
law.
like
It's a law
That's
against
privilege.
us, but
Yeah.
for them, it's
a privilege.
definitely a different law.
So true. So true. So true. Yeah.
But we're having a heated discussion here.
Yeah.
man.
The language is even
Just
different when you give descriptions of something
Right.
we did.
Right.
You know,
Ain't it though?
I'm like, wow. You know,
Ain't it though?
but
I mean, I know it from being a young person out here, you know, getting in trouble and whatnot.
And not getting it. Well, at that time we did get disciplined.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah. Now they.
Yeah, you better not touch my baby.
Yeah, that's right.
and that was
And you know-
another huge factor to where you had your child's attention, where they know what not to do. Listen,
Yeah.
my child is
Yeah.
already trained. Don't put, you know, it used to correct people by trying
Yep.
to
because
change your
it
teaching.
was a village. Now
So
the
true.
villages are gone.
Yeah, yeah,
There's a business out there.
yeah.
There's no village anymore.
There really
Because
isn't.
everybody they can't touch somebody else's child.
No.
That's in law.
No, no.
And I know when I was a kid, I got a lot of whoopings by two people, my family, my mom, and then
Yeah.
the neighbor.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that lived about 25 miles.
I just know when you're dealing with a species of people that really
Microphone,
put
please.
everything in their power to masterfully study our people and our weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and knowing
We are the
every
study.
area, because
We are the study.
even our educated, when they know we always, just like politics, a lot of people was given a direction to go. What made you choose either side, blue, red, green? You know, what gave you the insight? What research did you actually put together that gave you grounds to say, I'm a Republican or I'm a Democrat? Why are you picking these things that never really have any really significant meaning besides offering Skyping money to us, you know, in different programs and stuff? But really gonna get us together, like you say, the separation, some land that we can have and build, so we can show you that we don't have to beg you and ask you for things. Just give us our space and let us do it, because we need to reprogram ourselves. We need to have our educators so our
Deprogramming.
people can see our faces teach. Differences is gone. We don't have people interrupting us as we teach our history, our culture, our religion, our whatever, you know, because we've been given so many things and they have us worshiping and screaming all these different names, and we have to take a step back and realize, you know, it's only one God, you know, and I'm not gonna allow everybody to trap us in these circles and cycles of, you know, constantly worrying about these different mystical things instead of focusing on what we need to focus on now, because without all these distractions, maybe we can take some action.
Right.
Like say, put the phones down, put the drinks and drugs down. You know, we got to
Put
let
your
go of some
guns
stuff.
down.
We all the guns, everything. We need a lot of clear-mindedness when making some better decisions. You know, so we can really understand each other. Because if we all in different stages of sobriety or whatever conditions of health, and we bring in issues to each other that need a wise sound counsel to really come up with solutions. If we're not clear-minded and having educators of each other and knowing that we believe that our mission is the same,
Right.
you know, so it's going to take a really, really good group to really kick it off, to have that passion, you know, and the know-it-all, and, you know, the connections to bring the right people together. Because it's just some phone calls, these social media sites. If y'all hear things like this, do reach out. Because if anybody have any, like I say, skills or anything that helps develop better health for mental education, for financial literacy, anything that can give us a different good hobbies and habits. Let's just create different things so it can kind of help people get a relaxing place where they can build and become better. You know.
Well, sometimes you got to think about those things. You know what I mean? You got to get to a place and a point where we are ready to do the work.
And the work is not going to be easy.
No.
No. It's not going to be easy.
I think so many times, people get into this facade. I mean, we actually do what we say. And I think a lot of people get behind a screen and get behind a office desk and a chair. And they feel like, I got the position now. And if I can make other people believe this is what I'm about and this is what I'm on, then I can get the support of others. And like I said, after being in this community for about 18 years, to watch, it has changed so much that I don't even recognize it.
What do you mean, Champaign Urbana?
Yeah. The
Both
whole...
Central Illinois, it's up and down here. It's just totally different now.
Yeah, but it is crazy, and the whole situation is, a lot of people are going through some situations that are real. But this out here in the street is like nothing that I have ever seen before. It's like nothing that I have ever seen before. And like I said, I started here in social services.
Have you been
18.
here?
18 years. I don't even think Leah was one yet when we moved here. So.
I've been here since 66.
But the way that everything is, is transitionally different. Like I'm saying, with the children, with the mindset of, and with the services and with who's performing them and how they're being assisted and helped here is very different than what it looked like 18 years ago.
It makes me sad that your kids can't play outside. They can't be children anymore.
Yeah, I know. I
they
don't
have
see
to
kids,
grow
but
up.
the interesting thing about being here is that I don't see, like, you see the deficits in other communities, right? When you come here and you live here and you go to other smaller situations or cities, you can see the deficit of what is needed. Like, we were even talking about play. And for children just having the capabilities of just being able to play. And we don't even have like reasonable, decent parks in other communities outside of here because they don't have an area where they can even just enjoy and sit down and just be okay. So if you can't have a place where you can actually go, sit down, feel secure, be comfortable, enjoy a game without being terrorized.
Right.
How are you supposed to be a child? And how do we expect you to be a child when we won't even allow you the capability to just play?
To just play. It's just sad that, and, people, their kids play in the house. But that's not like outside, getting your feet dirty, getting grass stains, and
connecting to nature.
Connecting with each other. I remember they used to play a game called Sally Walker.
Whoa,
Wait a minute.
Right,
I just sang that to your grandma.
Sally Walker.
I just sang Miss Mary Black.
Remember that game where you get a line of kids and you run. And the one on the end would get slung off.
Oh, yeah. The rope. Yeah, the little, okay. I do know what you're talking about. But we ain't, I'm telling you, they're not even allowed to just.
Out of that game. Just pull, and then if you the last one, you just fly in the sky and hit the floor.
Yes.
I don't want to play that.
Yes.
That was, but see, that's how we think to get creative to have
hide
fun.
and seek.
So true.
There was just a lot of stuff that we did, and you don't see the what you call the thing on that stick on a rope, yo-yo.
Yeah. That's
You
how
don't
old.
remember how people used to
Do
do
you
all
remember?
those-
But I mean, and like I said, what kid, if you told them, if you sat a child down right
And
now
said,
that's 8, 9, 10 years old, would they even know
They
anything that you're
They
talking
wouldn't
about?
even know what that was.
No,
Because they haven't experienced that.
no. Playtime is not real time anymore. You know,
It's no time.
take a break.
Really.
Take a break. Remember, like you used to have a little 15, 20-minute break time. Here you go. You can go and play. I don't even. What does recess look like at school right now
It
nowadays?
looks like
Does it look like these kids on the phones?
No,
Or can you
Nobody
have
talk-
it?
ain't
Or can you
nobody
have
talking.
it now?
Well-
Because you know, in like 6th, 7th, 8th grade, you know, they took it to where they're like, you can't have it in school and stuff like that anymore. So I'm just like wondering.
jump rope, double dutch.
And I wonder, was it parents really mad that was even created? Which I'm
Which
probably
one?
sure was.
Of course, you know,
That
the
kid
phone.
couldn't have the phone. You,
Oh.
I mean, just
You already
have
know it
something
was.
to be angry.
You already
about.
know it was.
Seriously, man, we just trying to get your kid to
Right.
learn some things.
But you know what? Brothers keep constantly saying this over and over online. And they keep saying the same thing. Like this young man that lived here in Champaign. He was just talking about this situation over the weekend where he had went live and was saying the exact same thing. The parental, and he was like, I just can't get them to get involved. And like, how? You know, how?
And even the stories, you know, like I was saying, there's no fairy tales read anymore.
No.
You know,
Like she said, it's real now. It's real. They didn't jump into a time
well,
zone
you
to
can see
where
it.
they mindset is.
Imagination. You can see it. You don't have to imagine it.
Yeah, I know.
You don't have to. Create.
And you know what? But that's the world that we're living in, where
Yeah.
like everything is. And you know, my mom used to talk about this stuff, and you know, I used to hear older people talk about this constantly when they talked about us living in a microwave society. Now, this was around the 80s and 90s where you heard a lot of people talking about we lived in a microwave society, especially when, you know, in the 70s, 80s, that microwave came out on the scene, and it was a normal thing for everybody to have one in the 90s.
Yeah, you know, they used to talk about the phone. There would come a time where, when a person would call you,
You'd
that
be
you
able
could
to see them. Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
come to pass.
But there's a lot of things that have came to pass here. But this is my thing right here. Because we talk about those things of tangible, right? Those things that we talked about years and years ago. But also you need to think about this on the spiritual side. Because what is coming up on this world right now, and we are in the effects of it.
Yes.
We are in the real effects of it. You're talking about floods all over the world all the time. Now,
And
you know,
heat.
listen, yes, and heat.
heat.
And so you're talking about all these things happening all over the world, but also within our own communities and states. Let's not forget these things as well. Let's not forget the fact that millions of people will be cut off Medicaid. Let's not forget that, you know, because this is about to approach our communities within Illinois most viciously. So I want people to be fully aware of what is about to transition and take place.
Be
And you know
prepared.
what?
You might
It's
have
not
to
even-
help your neighbor.
Yeah.
And that's my whole thing, is that if we're not having full stock and full faith in one another, and we're not
That's
doing the
right.
things that is requested and required that need to push us forward in a more positive situation, we are setting ourselves up for failure. And I don't know how many times I have to get on the radio and we constantly go back and forth about, you know, people and what they need and what needs to be done and this, that, and the other. Let me tell you something. I need y'all to find y'all soul tribe and find them with an expeditiously manner. And I don't know why this is pressed upon my heart at the end of the show today, but let me explain something to you. There are things about to take place within the next several months. And I'm not putting on here as a threat. I don't do that. I'm not trying to scare people. I'm not trying to hype you up. There's a song for that. But let me tell you what I am doing is putting a bug in your ear. If nobody has told you today, you know, be vigilant about what you are doing. Be vigilant about where your family is. The separation of family right now. If your brothers, sisters, siblings went missing, would you even know? You know? because you're not even speaking to people on a regular basis in your home and in your life and in your situation. So I'm just explaining to the people that are online, if you're still paying attention, if you're out here in Radio Land, thank you kindly for paying attention to me. This has been Afternoons with Delight. But we have been on live today with Miss Marilyn Dean Cleveland, who has given us a few poems of hers to read. And I hope that you'll go back and look at the video. I will post it online later in a little bit today. But before we end up leaving for the rest of the day, like I said, everybody, I hope that your minds are clear, you're prayerful, and you stay in a positive way. But before I wrap up the show today, Miss Marilyn Dean Cleveland and Draper, I'll give y'all a few moments to say what you need to say.
Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed the conversation today, and I hope you have found some meaning in it, and we can, start acting on it. And we need to start trusting each other. I mean, it's hard because of everything that's been going on, but we live in a neighborhood where we can't even see our neighbors or talk to our neighbors. So we need to start trusting again. We need to start trusting each other, and that we don't do now. Because we're all closed up, window shades down, curtains drawn, doors closed. I mean, and we live in a world of fear.
Yes.
But we're going to have to start trusting one another and get out of that fearness, because even our neighbors are going through the same thing.
Yes, they
and
are.
maybe we're all looking for the same thing. But the main purpose right now is to start trusting each other, because we're going to have to depend on each other.
Yeah, so true.
Exactly.
So
So true.
and it's hard, but it's real. That's our reality today.
Yeah, so true.
Yes, ma'am.
So I wish everybody a wonderful afternoon and a greater tomorrow, with love, heart to heart.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. Draper, let's wrap up the day with you.
Well, I'd like to just say today was a very good day. We got some beautiful poems read. Definitely touched on some really important issues about our community and our young people, and what we need to continue to work on to build community again, so we can come out and just start, loving on each other and having fun and things without nothing to harm nobody. Right. We're not doing nothing that we know we don't supposed to be doing, but just something we can get back to basically building, a relationship, because when we shut down, the world shut down. If y'all don't see how boring it's getting, that's because we ain't creating nothing.
Right.
We are the creators of the world that everybody capitalize on. So we have to take advantage of these things about ourselves. This wake up is real, and I believe that God's going to make us really see some things with these eyes in this generation and this time span here.
Because we've seen some things already.
And enough is enough.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I just choose to be on the right side today. And my prayers is that everybody out here find that peace and that inspiration to go work on themselves to be a better person. And just have a beautiful evening. And let's just work on what we need to do to build a better community for this here Central Illinois district.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to us. It is actually 4:00. I appreciate y'all getting on live with us today. Like I said, you've been on live with Afternoons with Delight. And it's been Miss Marilyn Dean Cleveland and Draper in the studio with me today. Everybody have a great evening and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.